Outrage is spreading and Gaza is starving. Will Netanyahu listen? The images of skeletal children that are now pouring out of Gaza are shocking, but they should not be surprising. Humanitarian groups with decades of experience distributing aid in the Strip have been warning about this scenario for months, since Israel began throttling aid to a trickle. Around the world, horrifying footage of dead bodies with sharp bones protruding through stretched skin can be seen. The pictures of starvation in Gaza are horrific, distressing, and inescapable. The main United Nations Agency for Palestinians said Thursday that people are being starved, while a few kilometers away supermarkets are loaded with food, highlighting the stark and uncomfortable reality between life in Israel and survival in Gaza. On a popular US-Canadian podcast this week, listeners learned that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu prefers Burger King to McDonald's, a Whopper seeming to be his burger of choice. Even though Netanyahu did not bring up the subject, the public discussion of fast food by the man who brought food into Gaza is tone-deaf at its most generous. The U.S. correspondent for Israeli newspaper Haaretz noted that Netanyahu spent valuable time on the burger chat rather than answering legitimate questions about the Gaza humanitarian crisis or the delays in sealing a hostage deal and ceasefire. Even though world leaders see the same images of starvation as everyone else, they appear powerless to stop them. They can't get Israel to let in more aid or to return to the tried-and-true distribution methods led by the UN. It is true that condemnation is becoming more collective and targeted. More than 24 European foreign ministers issued a joint statement in which they criticized Israel for its drip-feeding of aid and the inhumane killing of civilians. Israel's foreign ministry rejected this statement as being disconnected from reality. More than 100 international humanitarian organizations warned Israeli restrictions on aid are endangering the lives of doctors and aid workers. However, these are just words that can be ignored. Writing about the EU response, former Israeli hostage negotiator Gershon Baskin said it was still just a piece of paper. The way the state of Israel treats history goes into the trash can. So, what could reverse what the United Nations chief is calling the horror show in Gaza? Simply put, Trump. When Israel hit Iran hard just before a ceasefire, the U.S. president publicly criticized Netanyahu. After a phone call, Israel pulled back. According to the White House, Trump called Netanyahu and did not have a positive reaction when Israel struck the only Catholic church in Gaza. The Israeli leader said he deeply regretted it, calling the strike a mistake. An irate phone call from the leader of the free world does appear to be the quickest way to provoke a change of heart from a leader seemingly unmoved by increasing international criticism. Although a spokesperson for the White House has stated that Trump wants the killing to end, the President of the United States has shown little public anger, frustration, or condemnation regarding the unfolding humanitarian crisis. Despite statements of hope and optimism made by the Trump administration in recent weeks, the United States has focused on securing a ceasefire and hostage agreement that remains elusive. To counter Trump's plan to move everyone from the Strip, Arab leaders have condemned Israel, demanded an immediate ceasefire, and created a strategy to rebuild Gaza after the war. The Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council called Israel's policies this week the crime of the century. Israel has long refuted claims that it is enforcing a humanitarian blockade, asserting that its policies are intended to stop Hamas from stealing supplies, which aid organizations have denied. During a visit to Gaza